Hey everybody, it's Maddie here. Today I'm going to show you how you can crochet this cute little tiny little frog. It's really funny looking. I mean, look at it. But it's really cute and it only takes like 20 minutes to make. Plus, this pattern has no sewing involved, so you don't have to sew on any of like the legs or arms, which is perfect. So let's begin making this tiny little frog. Let's go. Okay, to begin making your frog, you're going to take the tail end of your yarn and then you have your long strand in your other hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that tail and we're going to cross it over to create a loop like this, and then you're going to take your fingers, you're going to put it through the loop, and then you're going to grab the long strand and you're just going to pull that through till it creates a little slip knot. And then you can go ahead, place that on your hook, and then when you pull on that long strand, it should tighten up that slip knot on your hook. And now from here, we're going to go ahead and chain 6. So to chain, you're going to yarn over, and then we're going to pull that through our loop. So there's 1 chain, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Next, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from our hook. So not this chain, but in this chain is where we're going to put a single crochet. And to do a single crochet, you're going to insert your hook through that chain, yarn over, and pull out a loop. So then you should have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both loops, and that is going to be a single crochet. Let's move on to the next chain. So right here we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. There's another single crochet. Let's do another single crochet in this next chain. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more single crochets in the next 2 chains. And now I've made it to the end of those first chains that we've made. And now from here we're going to make a bobble stitch. But we're going to be doing the bobble stitch in this same chain that we did that last single crochet in. So like right here is where we're going to be putting the bobble stitch. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook through that chain, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So then you should have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then you're going to stop right there. We're going to do that again. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook through that same chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So now we have 3 loops left on our hook. We're going to continue doing this till we have 5 loops on the hook. So let's yarn over again, insert our hook through the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And now we have 4 loops on the hook. Let's do that one more time. Yarn over, insert our hook through the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And now we have 5 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 of those loops, just like that. We're going to be working it in the back side of the chains. Here we did the single crochets, and then we had the bobble stitch, and then when we flip it, we have those back side of the chains. We're going to be working in those next. So we're going to do a single crochet in the first back side of the chain, which is right here. We're going to do a single crochet in there, just like that, and then do a single crochet in the next one, and then we're going to single crochet in this next chain again. So now you should have, after the bobble stitch, 3 single crochets, and then by then you'll come to this last chain down at the end of this little thing we got, and in that last chain we're going to do another bobble stitch because these are going to be the little eyes on our frog. So to make a bobble stitch again, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook through the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're going to do that till you have 5 loops on your hook. There's 3, and 5, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 of those loops. And now we've completed row 1. Before we start row 2, we are going to need a stitch marker because these rounds will be worked continuously. And you can buy stitch markers to use, but I've always just used just a different color yarn, and I've always just placed that where I want it to go as my stitch marker. So I'm going to show you how I do that. So here we have that bobble stitch that we made last. and I'm keeping this long strand out of the way. And then I'm going to take my stitch marker and I'm going to place it at the base of that stitch. So like right next to it, right here. And I'm also folding it to make sure it's out of the way before we start working on the next round. So once it's folded and in place, not covering this next stitch or anything, you're good to go. For the second round, we're just going to be doing 1 single crochet in each of the stitches all the way around. So in this first stitch right here, we're going to do a single crochet. So just insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. And now these eyes do tend to like be folded inside out like this. So at this point you can go ahead and just pop them out like this. So they're pointing upward. Anyway, let's continue. So in this next stitch, again, we're gonna do a single crochet and then a single crochet in the next stitch. And we're gonna continue doing this till we make it to the end of this round, right before you come back to the stitch marker. Okay, I've made it to the end of the round, and that last single crochet I just did in the bobble stitch, and here we have the stitch marker in the next stitch, so we know that's when we need to stop. You just stop right before you make it to the stitch marker. So from here you can go ahead and remove the stitch marker and place it at the beginning of our next round, right next to the last stitch we made. And now for this third round, we're just going to be doing 1 single crochet in each of the stitches all the way around, just like the previous row that we did. And then just go ahead and do this till we make it to the end of this round. Okay, once you make it to the end of the round, right before the stitch marker, you can go ahead and remove the stitch marker and then place it at the beginning of our next round. And in this round, we're going to be making the arms of the frog. So in the first 5 stitches, we're just gonna do 1 single crochet in each of those. So first stitch, single crochet. Second stitch, single crochet. Third and 5th. And now we're going to go ahead and make the arm. And to do that, you're going to go ahead and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then to make the actual hand, we're going to be doing slip stitches. And we're going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. And to do a slip stitch, you're going to insert your hook through the chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then we're going to put this loop into this one, just like that. And there's going to be your slip stitch. We're going to slip stitch twice in 2 chains. So there's the first chain, and then in the second chain we're also going to do a slip stitch, just like that. And then from here we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. We're going to slip stitch in the second chain right here. And then we're going to slip stitch back into the chain that we previously slip stitched into. It's like this main part right here. Go ahead and do a slip stitch in there. So now we have like the little arm of the frog. And here we have 3 chains left, and in each of these chains we're going to do 1 slip stitch. And now we have our little arm. We're going to go ahead and finish off this round by doing 1 single crochet in each of the stitches till we make it back to the stitch marker, and then we'll make our second arm. Okay, just finished single crochet all the way back to the stitch marker, and now we can go ahead and remove that stitch marker, and then we're going to single crochet in this next stitch. And now we'll go ahead and make the second arm. So we're going to start by chaining 6, just like we did for the last arm, 5 and 6, and then we're going to slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and then also the chain right next to it. We're going to chain 2 and then slip stitch into the second chain, and also slip stitch into this chain. And then we're going to slip stitch down back to our stitches down here. And there should be 3 chains that you're going to slip stitch into. From here, we're going to be doing 4 rows of just single crochet all the way around on each of the rows. So we can go ahead and replace our stitch marker and begin on the next row. And we're going to be doing a total of 4 of these rounds where we're just single crocheting in each of the stitches all the way around. And also, when you make it to the stitch that has an arm on it, you're just going to move that arm away and then work in a stitch where that arm was placed. But just making sure that that arm stays out as you're crocheting around it. So I just came back to the arm, and I also took out my stitch marker and placed it back at the beginning of the round because I just finished that round. And then just keep going around till we make it around the round 4 times. And I'll go ahead and meet back up with you once I finished all 4 of those single crochet rounds. Okay, you just made it to the end of those 4 single crochet rounds after we made the hands. And now you can go ahead and remove your stitch marker because we don't need that anymore. For this round, we're going to be doing slip stitches, but also we're going to be adding the legs to our frog. So we're going to start off by doing 6 slip stitches, and that should make it to where we stop like right here, right above this second arm here. And then we'll make our leg from there. So we're just going to slip stitch in this first stitch. You're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, put this loop in through here. And there's your slip stitch. And 6. I also like to double check to make sure that this is directly above that hand, just so we make sure that the legs come out even. The way we're going to make the legs is very similar to the way that we made the arms, except they're going to be longer and with 3 toes rather than like the 2 little things. So you're going to start by chaining 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we're going to slip stitch into this second chain from the hook. And then we're going to slip stitch 2 more places down. So there's 2 and 3. So then you should have a total of 3 slip stitches. And then from here, you're going to chain 3. And then we're going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, this chain, and then back into that main chain that we're kind of working in. There's our first slip stitch, second, and then we're going to go back into that main chain that we're working in and do a slip stitch. We're going to chain 3 again, and then we're going to slip stitch into these 2 chains and the main one, just like we did this previous toe. So there's the first one, second, and then back into the main chain. So now we have our little foot. And then just like the way we did the arms, we're going to slip stitch in each of the chains back till we make it to the body. And now we have a little leg. After you've made your first leg, we're going to then slip stitch in each of these stitches till we make it back to this other side, directly below from this arm that we made. And we're going to slip stitch 6 times. There's 1 and 6. Since my hook is directly below this arm here, I'm going to go ahead and make another leg, and it's just the same way that we made this leg. So we're going to start by chaining 9, slip stitching into 3 of the chains, skipping this first one. 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead and chain 3, and then you're going to slip stitch into these 2 chains and then also this main one. And then you're going to do that again. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch into that second chain and back into that main one. Now we have our little foot, and then just like we did on the last foot, we're just going to do slip stitches all the way down this leg till we make it back to the body. Just like that. And then from here, we're just going to slip stitch into this next stitch from where we made the leg. And now we have 2 legs and our little arms. Look how cute that is. Now from here, there's 2 options that you can do. You can go ahead and fasten off your yarn if you want to be like a little finger puppet which is really cute. Or you can choose to sew up this bottom, which I'm planning on doing, but if you want to leave it as a finger puppet, that's fine as well. You just go ahead and fasten off this yarn right now. But I'm going to show you a way that we can sew this area together without actually having to get our needle out. And we're just going to be doing slip stitches all the way through to sew this together. So we're just going to stick our hook all the way through the entire thing like this, and then go ahead and do a slip stitch, and then just work your way down till it's all nice and stitched together. You only have to do it just a few times, and then once you finish that, you can go ahead and cut your yarn, pull your hook out, and tighten it up. And now we have the little body of our little frog. Before we sew on the eyes and the mouth, I'm gonna go ahead and just sew in this tail so we can't see it. Now, if you do have safety eyes, you can go ahead and use those. I don't have any, and so I just sew on some eyes with some black yarn. So I'm just gonna take some black yarn, cut a little piece of that off, thread my needle through, and then I'm going to just kind of poke it through one part of the body, and then have the needle come out where I want the eye to be. I'm just gonna pull that through, and I'm gonna leave a little bit of this black just sticking out because I can cut that later. Okay, I finished the eyes and I had a hard time with them, but that's okay. They turned out all right. I want to add a little bit of a highlight so you can actually see them because you can't see them at all on here. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. So I just take a little piece of some white yarn and I just unravel it so I get one of these little strands. And then I just pull that and destroy the yarn. But then you have a little piece of yarn, just like that. I'm sure there's like a better way to do this, but this is what I've always done and it works for me. And then I'm just gonna thread that through my needle and add a little highlight. That looks pretty good. I think that adds a little bit more to the face. I'm gonna do that for the other eye, and I'm also going to put a little mouth on it like I did on this one. And then your little froggy will be finished. And there you have it. Look at that. Isn't that cute? It's really funny looking. And the eyes are hilarious. I need to learn how to make better eyes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give this video a like and let me know down below in the comments how your frog turned out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. That is so silly.